Let's go to the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop over 1,500 Toyotas indoors in one of America's largest showrooms at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. He is Jason Jackson. He is the voice of your Miami Heat right here on your flagship, 56 WQM. You, of course, can also catch the coverage tonight as Heat and Mavericks get going. Bally Sports Sun, 7:30 is when their coverage gets going from the home of the Heat's first championship, American Airlines Center. Jax, how you doing this morning? Everything going good?
How could it be bad? I'm here with you all.
Whoa,
First thing in the
you
morning.
in witness protection, Jax.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Why is it got to be all that?
It's because it's dark. It's dark.
That's my skin tone.
No. Only Jax.
I stayed in the oven longer than most.
What did you want to ask, Leroy? You wanted to ask what was still going on Fridays?
Are you still doing Ask Out Fridays? Because you're in the
Still
different
watch television? Do you? I mean, like you act like because I went to radio, there's no visuals or something. But
no,
I mean, yes,
that's why I just asked.
I did not pack one. I will be honest.
Right, but we don't get to see you like we normally do. So I'm just wondering
a half hour
if he still does it
for a half hour, about an hour after for an hour. You got to commit to the whole television viewing experience.
All right, Jax. I apologize.
Leroy.
That's on me. My bad. It's on me, Jax.
No, I will be honest.
I
will be honest.
For shame.
On the road, it's rare because on the road, I'm only on for like maybe 5 minutes. And so
I got you.
The ascot on the road, we're not going to sit here and get my neck all hot for 3 hours, for 2.5 minutes of television.
I got you.
And listen, carrying the load, and Tobin knows, when you're carrying the load of the Miami Heat audio experience, you got to have all your throat available.
That's true.
Last night,
No, I was saying, Jack, let's talk about how much have you enjoyed? This is your second year. You're halfway through the second year. Like, how much have you enjoyed the new responsibility of being the radio voice? Like, have you dug it? Like, do you enjoy it more the second year than the first year? How much have you liked getting into this?
What I love is how many people like to jump in my Twitter feed and tell me how to do it. That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part. That's it. And I have a unique style. There's so many things that I wanted to be when Michael retired and the opportunity was presented to me, because I spent my entire life loving and listening to play-by-play guys. And you know what you want it to sound like. And then you do it and you realize, holy hell, this game's really fast. So you gotta prune all that R&B singer, FM DJ stuff out of your throat. Like, that's gotta go. Like, it's literally watching. What was that? What's the film where they have to lighten the load of something and they just keep throwing stuff out and they got to take stuff off and we got to go faster. We got to go. They're just taking all the stuff. I can't remember the flick off the top of my head. It'll come to me like 10 minutes from now. This is the joy of being 50 now, B. Is that everything comes
like Anaconda where they're running from the snake?
No, they were just, it's got to be faster. It's got to be lighter. No, Anaconda. Good Lord. That
I felt like Jaws was too obvious.
I've absolutely loved it. And it listen, my first 17 years were awesome. But what I didn't realize being a host and reporter, which I had been my entire career up until last season, is that with play-by-play, there's not a second of the game you're not locked into and engaged with. So you got the traffic. We do it a little bit different, as B knows. We do a multiple voice ensemble type dynamic. And so not only am I traffic copping, calling the game, doing promos, doing sales items, making sure we get to break in a relatively decent amount of time, pulling in an analyst on home games. I'm trying to figure out how I want to say the secret sauce to Struce juice.
Well, Jax, one of the things that people don't understand is you did the same thing with your radio show. That you included others, because that's how I started doing it. I started doing Fridays and then Mondays. And so, just hearing you include other people and other opinions is not nothing new to you.
My man.
And yeah, man.
You gotta be deep in the memory banks for all that, right?
Yes.
For the Friday foursome. Come on now.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you find an extra level of tension no matter when it is going into Dallas? Do you get side eyes? Is everybody just grumpy because the Heat walk in there? Because no love lost.
I even said in New Orleans when I'm teasing the game coming up next. We're going to Dallas, where we'll let them all know about 06 and we never talk about 11.
That's it.
I mean, I have a ring protocol, and each city in which we battle and won championship rings, Oklahoma City, Dallas, and of course San Antonio, I wear those championship rings to those games, both in the arena and on the road. And so I come in with a really kind of a not so humble flex. But both San Antonio and Dallas can show me theirs. So
that's true.
It's a different thing. You got to come in a little humble. I did go by the Dirk statue last night.
We on this one. D-Wade need to have his statue.
Yeah, well, that part of it, I'm gonna leave that for you all. You understand? I have work to do.
I understand.
We understand.
But what I will say is that the Dirk one is frightening. Like I'm gonna probably be off on the proportions, and you guys look it up. It looks like it's 30 feet tall. All right. And then the angle of his fadeaway is not humanly possible. And I don't remember him being parallel to the floor on release. I mean, listen, it was a great shot.
Some artistic liberties with him.
Oh my Lord. I think he lives in it.
He just
it's remarkable. Listen, kudos to Cuban and them. They've done well with their greatest player in franchise history.
Tonight, this team does feel like it's wrong. It was nice to get a blowout. First of all, that was a stress-free win. But how do you feel like it's coming together, Jackson? I really do feel like the team is playing a lot better. Nice to have everybody healthy, but like you on the road, you are there in the locker room. Does the vibe seem more relaxed? Do they feel like more confident, more comfortable? What are you gauging from just the temperature of the team?
Yeah, you're in the locker room a lot. B. It's solid. It stayed that way. It's been that way through these near 50 games. That's probably the astonishing part. That was the 15th time the intended lineup played together, and we're almost at game 50. 15th.
Right.
If that's how it's going to look, and listen, they're missing two. Speaking of the Pelicans, no Ingram, no Williams. Feel free to bring them both on Sunday at 3:30. I want it all. But that's how you deal with a team that's down two of their best players. It's got to be, it's 20, it's 26. Oh, it's 15. No, it's not. It's 20. Like that's exactly the realm you want to be in. When they are using their defense the way that they used it, was it almost 20 turnovers for 24 points, and then everything else comes from there, you're in trouble. And they know that as a team. Right. It's just that's not always how it works. That Atlanta game, I want to put a gold star on the Atlanta game because I think that's a nice midseason reminder of what are you playing around in these games for?
Right.
What are you getting down 26 for? You know you can come back, but once you use all that energy to come back, how do you get over the hump and stay over the hump? Play like that. Come out, set the tone, cause havoc, make the other team go, oh, wait, we're at work. We got to get to work right now. And just make that the way that you go about it, as long as the pixie dust of health is sprinkled on this team. I love the top nine, like from that first five, and then those next four, and then whatever reserves you need after that. I like that group. I want that group now, and pushing all the way to the second season.
You don't think that maybe another big would help, or I heard they've been kicking around a couple of guys, and there's been some.
You mean like a 7-footer that has a nice jump shot and offensive rebounds, like somebody like that?
There's no tree for
number 77 that might be coming back in a few weeks. You mean that guy?
Oh, really? Is he coming? Is he like the thing about injuries with the Heat is we have no idea.
It was 3 months, right? And next month is the third month. He's going to need, and we're talking about Ömer Yurtseven, everybody.
Yeah. He's gonna need a month to get back into it.
Yurtseven, let's go.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you something. Get Silk Sonic on right now. Tell your boy to put Silk Sonic on. 777. Let's go. That's the new song you all need to play every 15 minutes of Heat, because I can't wait. I mean, the thing about Yurtseven, and so let's go through his timeline. Let's not make it pressure filled. I'm just saying, the last couple of years, the addition the Heat needed was right in the house, healing. And I don't think people should forget about the fact that from the summer work, I know in summer league he didn't play as much as he did last year, but Yurtseven into camp, my gut, and we didn't get to know because his left ankle didn't work. My gut is that cat was going to be in the first 5.
Really?
Okay.
That's
they
my
did
gut.
do that the first preseason game. That's what they rolled out, and I was
Bam,
kind of surprised by it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he's earned it, right? He did the work. He worked on his perimeter game so he can kind of get out of Bam's way. And now that this little bottom of the circle jumper is a layup, I told Bam the other day, I don't even want to see layups from you because that is a layup. You dunk and you shoot that little thing, whatever we're gonna call it. You guys put a name on that thing yet? You put a name on that little jumper?
I don't know. It's just inside the foul line. Everybody knows where it is, and he always seems open. Like I haven't figured out why. Hey man, this is his spot.
might call it eyeball because that's what he's shooting the eyeball out with. I think it'll be eyeball. That's it. But I think, Leroy, that while we all get into our fantasy world of what possibly could occur, I would love to see what happens middle February, early March when you have the big fella out of Georgetown.
If it's anything like the patience they had with Vic and what they're getting out of Vic, oh my goodness. That means the Heat know something we don't, because they ain't saying nothing. But Vic
it'd just be interesting to see how you work him in when you get him back. Right. Because listen, Wes Brown and the medical staff, training staff, they're going to be methodical, right? They're going to move slower than our appetite, which is good for the player, as we've noticed.
This is the only organization, Jax, that I've seen do that. I've seen so many players in so many other sports be rushed back, and then when they can't play, just get dumped. And the fact that they had so much patience with Vic, and they do it with a lot of guys with their injuries, kudos to them, man. They're very patient with that stuff.
Yeah.
Jax, before we get you out of here, getting back to Bam, not in the top 10 of fan all-star voting, which is an incredible disgrace.
Listen, it's our fault, by the way. Tobin.
Trust me, I know.
Heat Nation. I'm not wagging my finger at you, but there's more than enough of us to get that man 1 million votes, 2 million votes.
There's no way we go to every city, and when the wins start happening, you hear those chants. You saw how D Wade was received nationally on his last dance. Like, I'm stunned that he's not outdrawing Claxton or Kuzma. Those guys are nice players, but this guy, he's elite, Jax, and is taking even more of a step. So just for him, he's not a guy who likes to complain a lot about like the lack of respect that he gets or the lack of recognition that he gets. But he's also not a guy who forgets. He also takes note of that stuff. How do you feel like that is fueling this kind of run that he's on? This season's just been really impressive from him.
Yeah, well, I think some of it, right? Like, and then part of it is, fans are just have to vote now, so he can wait and see what the media vote and the player vote, see if it pulls up. The coaches are definitely going to have him in the mix, so there's that. So he doesn't have to really, really worry about it. First and the 15th probably take care of a lot of things in that man's soul. I just think that he knows that he can be elite. He knows that he is now the culture carrier, that torch is making his hand hot because we're halfway through Udonis's last season. And I wouldn't be surprised if the next captain of this team is Bam, if not singularly, among, him and a couple guys. So I think he's just really focused on elevating his game. His defense is elite. Like, let's not even kid ourselves on that front. And now he's moving into a space where you can only look at Giannis and Joker in the sense of what what he can do in his totality. And Bam's not passing as much, but he sure can. If it's needed, he can definitely do that.
Well, we appreciate the time, Jax. Go check him out tonight. You guys can hear him, of course. WQAM. The Heat audio experience gets going for you. Solana gets going with preheat today at 6:45. Tommy Tig, Jason Jackson do the whole crew. Then, of course, you guys can watch Jason Jackson tonight. Bally Sports Sun, a little pregame action, 7:30. Your coverage gets going. Doing a fantastic job. A man who's broadcasting all over the spectrum, radio, television. He is the Jax Show. We appreciate it, Jax. Thanks so much for the time this morning.
Thanks, Jax.
I'm going to get out of my work release program that it's just nice curtains in a nice hotel in Dallas. And I lit it well, by the way. That's for your beautiful stream.
Okay.
We appreciate
We
it. You're
appreciate
a pros
it,
pro.
Jax. You're a pros pro.
Now let me go put some pants on.
Back after this.